for three and knocks down his first shot. This kid's dynamic, 19 years old, 5-star recruit. They think that the sky is the limit for him.
Well, he is. You saw the defensive play and how he impacts that into the court, but also offensively a beautiful stroke from beyond the arc. And like you said, you guys, sky's the limit for this young man.
Here's Bryce Williams. Sky is the limit for him. His father Henry played at Charlotte. Was an all-star, second-round pick. Passed away in 2018 of a kidney disorder. Gary steps into a triple.
I mean, it's good. I mean, that's the way of the world of college basketball, of college sports in general. Outstanding opportunity for these young men to earn money. Like I said, guys, nothing like being the first who is able to get it done. Cut the nets down here at the Crown.
And just talking to some of the executives that have put on this tournament, from Vivid Seats and AEG, down the road, maybe 10 years from now, price tag could be $10 million for the winner, as Gary adds the free throw. He's keeping him in it right now. Jordan Ivy Curry with 12, with Darius Johnson on the bench with 2 fouls and a bad habit. Gary explodes to the basket, left hand, off the glass and in. And another big-time bucket for the Knights, who take their largest lead of the game, 49-35, on a 16-0 run.
Can you feel the energy, the shift in energy right now, ending that first half for the Knights, and now beginning of this second.
Jump hook on the baseline, but here 39. Hockey inside, nice look, that ball blocked, picked up by Bryce Williams. Andrew Morgan got a hand on it. Williams. They swing it. Gary crosses over, pushes up, off the glass with the left hand. And
ball. A lot of times the officials call that.
Bryce Williams catch and shoot 3. Gary offensive rebound over Higgins. And one. College basketball Crown tournament. Left baseline. John, air ball. Williams the other way on the break. Gary power forward to the hole. Gary. Early. And banks it in. Andrew Meadow at 14 on Wednesday against Butler. He has been excellent in this tournament.
A very physical player. We saw that in the last game against Butler, Gus, and don't expect anything different this afternoon.
Boopton Joe, cross court. Gary, rising fire. Woo!
Able to square it up.
Actually down by 4, 26-22. Ulis, Hoiberg. Mia, the big man, down low. Bryce Williams turns. Gary, deep jumper. Oh.
Fred Hoiberg talked about getting stops and stop taking the ball out the basket. It means defensively.
Stanley picked up his first foul. Inside. And
on shoulders.
Hoiberg sets his feet. Batted up and in. Basket for the easy layup.
Beautiful. He knew that overplay was going to be there. Backdoor cut. But that conversation sounded like my son when he talked about us. So we should.
That's right. Who played in the national championship game for Wisconsin? Jimmy Jackson's son. Here's Hoiberg. Off the dribble. Gary steps back. Shot. Meadow takes off. Gets a tap. Backed out. Gary, big sideline. Gets it. Hoiberg the other way. Hoiberg. Morgan. Jacobson. Gary. Williams. And Juwan. Well done play by Boopton.
That was a play designed to get Cardenas to turn the corner. The youth in jail that time able to seek it out. Great defense.
Got him. Besieging baseline. Gary wide open. Can't leave this kid. Georgetown shooting 28% from the field. Hoiberg pulls it back. Gary deep. Jump shot, Mulready, and that one will stop the bleeding. 32-21. Mulready from Worcester, Mass. His first bucket of the game. Gary, and he'll get the roll. Looks to shoot. Jacobs gliding, left-hand runner off the heel. Nebraska gets the rebound. Now Gary. Juwan, Georgetown doing what they can. Then Raphorst off the bench, the freshman from New Jersey. Makes it a 45-29 game.
But you know the difference with Bryce Williams? He has teammates that can create shots for him. Unlike Malik Mack right now, he's the major ball handler. So it's not a lot of shot creation from his teammates for him.
Williams, no. Block out of the air. Banked down.
Press defense right here by Georgetown.
That was a career high for McKenna, the 9 points. Nebraska has led by as many as 19. With more pressure by the Hoyas. 8-point game. Williams has been quiet recently. On the baseline, jumper. And that one goes down for Gary.
Just hanging around, guys.
Tell you what. A lot of time left.
Yep.
5:28 to go. 10-point game. Nebraska is led by as many as 19. And Gary again.
All year long defending that perimeter. First 2 points of the game to Bashir Jihad. Here's Juwan Gary in the paint. The running hook drops. Lamir Alips. Good cut. And Gary with the finish at the rim. It's just that continuity. Houston Gel will drop it off to Gary as the Huskers set up. Gary going to work against Ali to the rim for 2. Boy, he just cut Jihad. Now a deep 3 for Miller. Playing with fire. He's got range. Up the floor now. Here's Gary to the rim with a one-hand hammer. Going right for the Cornhusker offense. And now a turnover base and bounced it right to Jacobson. And now ahead to Gary. That's Gary. Not going to worry about that. I think they can go with this matchup. I'd rather Jihad, though, drive that. He's not a great three-point shooter on the season. You've got the matchup with Mia. Oh, Gary, what a move. Gets to the rim for 2 and a timeout. I think he missed 2. It's called from the offside. Here's Gary, turns the corner, loping to the rim for 2. Miller looking. Lost it on the way in. Gary pushing ahead to Hoiberg. Hoiberg back to Gary. Rim run and 2 more. A lot at stake for these Hawkeyes. Can they win and advance to the Big Ten tournament, or will it be Nebraska that claims that final spot? And certainly it's been tough sledding ever since the injury to Owen Freeman. Been more on the plate of Dix and Sanford to score. But make no mistake about it, this is still a very dangerous offensive team in the Hawkeyes. The second best offense in the Big Ten Conference. Buchtengel slipping down as he got into his cut. Rooster with 3 to shoot over to Gary. Step back 3 for Juwan. Gary is good. Triple. The skip into the corner. Thelwell gets it over to Sanford. A step left for 3. He has really struggled from range of late. Peyton Sanford, 3 for 21 over the last 4+ games from behind the arc. But that's the pass that's going to be there. That skip pass is going to be really important for Iowa all game. Gary again. Gary again. To rotate to the basket, or you're going to be in big trouble as Nebraska kind of not on the same page. They were all pressed down to the 3-point line on the weak side and gave up an easy dunk. Williams zips that pass into Gary with the bucket and the foul. Underhand to Sanford, extra pass. Harding toeing the line for 3, and Buchtengel the rebound. You can't get something with Bryce Williams going downhill to his right. Bronze with a good show. Good find to Gary at the rim for 2. Oh, core in the Big Ten. Out to Rooster, wide open 3. That won't go. Gary with the offensive rebound and putback. Have shown much more 2-3 zone in the second half. The Siegen will try to shoot him out of it, but he is 0 for 7 today. Gary with the offensive rebound. Big putback. Sanford on the drive, and Buchtengel able to clean that up. Boy, did Bryce Sanford get a good pass. 12-point lead for Iowa. Gary driving baseline for the hand.
You have to call the bank shot, but bank is open late in Columbus. extended hours here in early spring. Buchtenjel to Gary. Would that be a good sign if they could get him going?
Oh, good hands.
Morgan takes that one away. 4 turnovers now against Ohio State. Trying to get the ball back to Williams. Booster to Gary. Pull up 3. From way up top, rained it down in. Royal double teamed, 8 to shoot. Finds an open Mobley. In and out, a Sejan board.
Tremendous closeout by Juwan Gary. He had forced the miss.
Nebraska on an 8-2 run.
The second efforts defensively in the last 5 minutes have really been key for Nebraska.
Gary makes it a 10-2 run. They've made 7 out of 9. And they've scored the last 6 points here.
Well, I like how Nebraska has really settled in and got back into the flow of this game. First time we've seen this matchup zone from Ohio State.
Gary to a cutting Wooster. Nice job, Thornton. Hoiberg. Gary knocks down the 3.
90% free throw shooter. 90. Yep.
Incredible. Williams misses. Gary with a putback. The one. Thornton hesitates, then goes.
That's a great challenge by Juwan Gary. Stop-start action to Thornton. I thought he was going to be able to lose Gary, but elite defender.
Buchtenjel missed both of the shots he took in the first half. Gary, and he's got an early 3. And the lead is back to 5.
Look at countering Sejan. Ignite off the bench for Nebraska. He's been so good this season.
He had 7 points in the first half. Gary aggressively to the bucket.
Ooh.
And again, high. 9 seconds. Thornton, step back. Flat, another rebound. That's 8 for Royal. And a steal for Williams. Up ahead to Gary. Oh, he's got 2 points.
Oh, man.
Mobley's got 15. Williams, 3. Gary put back.
Sean stood.
Nice job by Odicali of not giving up on the play.
Bryce Williams, quiet start. Looking to get it going here.
Odicali, a very physical defender. That's going to be an interesting matchup to watch away from the ball. Good help by Mitchell till Odicali was able to recover.
10 on the shot clock for Nebraska, down 4-1 early. Gary bumped on the drive to the window for 2.
And I just love straight in with the opposite hand.
Knotted up at 8 apiece. Swing around to Gary. And Gary, tough drive, got it to fall, and it's 10-8.
Mitchell had 10 points, 4 boards last time out for the Gophers and giving them some quality minutes here in the early going on the road.
5-point advantage for Minnesota. Nice drop off to Gary in the finish. Brewster with the assist.
Drives were far less contained.
Huskers just 6 of 16 from the floor and 2 of 8 at the charity stripe to start this ball game. Hoiberg with Gary turning the corner, trying to drive on Rigsby. Tough shot, but he finally gets the kind roll.
That's the second. And this may be one where Williams just has to become a little bit more selfish and just demand the basketball and go get something on his own.
Nebraska getting run out of their own building right now.
And Mitchell again, just doing a tremendous job battling Morgan in that situation down on the block.
5 to shoot for Nebraska. Gary wants to drive. Has to lean in. Boy, what 11 second chance points now for Minnesota. Sejan, no. Gary, second chance, yes. 1-on-1. Williams trying to turn the corner, fades away. No offensive rebound. Gary with the putback.
How about Juwan Gary?
Williams drives to the rim. Challenged by Mitchell. Gary there for the follow. Nebraska. Gary driving to the rim. The tip is there. Hoiberg calling Wooster over. He's directing traffic on that sideline for Nebraska. Williams against Wolf. Back out to Gary. Gary will drive. Inside against Wolf for two.
Good job by Dunn. The closeout was not under control by Asijan. And so he didn't even have to really utilize a shot fake. He was just able to turn the corner and get in and finish.
Just got it over before a 10-second count. Midway point first half. Nebraska really slow start. Just like Northwestern, have to come back in this one. Down double digits. That's a start. A long two.
It has been, and now a turnover, miscommunication, and the Cats give it right back. Bolins had it picked off by Williams. Here's Gary for three. That goes Juwan Gary.
In his face, so great job defensively by them to challenge that.
And Williams, actually Gary there.
Over the last 5 minutes, it's been impressive.
You see, they actually have the rebound advantage here in the second half after Northwestern just dominated the glass in the first. Here's Gary. And he is fouled. And Nebraska could take the lead with a three from 20 down about 13 minutes ago. Asijan. Still 10 to shoot. Here's Gary. On the move. The floater goes. And
A little bit behind Asijan on that cut.
Here's Williams. He'll try the three. A little bit strong. He wanted a foul. Didn't get it. Gary off the tip back from Mia. Takes it to the rim for two.
Nicely done. I think he was looking to try to turn the corner and then look over the top, and Mia did not provide that opportunity.
Well, Braxton Mia in the last 5 games have played only 31 total minutes. His minutes are going to be up tonight based on the average as the three goes down.
Fan dribble, and then Mia kind of got caught in no man's land. I think he's a little tired right now. Wasn't able to come out and contest as effectively, and then a nice little dive by Reese.
Well, they're just trying to get him to the under 8 to get a timeout. Here's Gary towing the line for a three. He'll splash it down. This shows the poise of this team. This place was rocking. Nebraska had come back to take the lead, and Maryland's just quietly extended the lead back out to 7 now. Here's Asijan trying to get it going. He's under the weather tonight. Juwan Gary, three at the top of the key. Big bucket for Nebraska.
From Reese to start it. He gets in the middle, plays off 2 feet, bounce pass to the corner, then the extra pass allows the three.
Maryland 6 of 10 tonight from 3. When Nebraska has struggled this year, it has been struggling to stop teams from 3-point shooting successfully.
Yeah, they're 14th in the conference in defending the three.
Geronimo almost took that away from Juwan Gary, and it ends up with an easy 2. 9 to shoot. Gillespie has his pocket pick. Morgan on the run. Up to Gary for the one-hand hammer.
Smart play by Morgan. A lot of guys on the floor, once with Queen kind of being the playmaker, Reese the recipient, and another one. Impressive start here by Maryland.
Huskers called the timeout, so the next dead ball sends us to the media timeout once more. So this could be a very short segment depending on what happens here. Huskers hoping to make it a fruitful segment. Down by 11. Juwan Gary, tough fadeaway, and somehow got it to go. He's got 9. 77-73. Here's Williams around the Morgan screen. Gary driving with Queen on his hip. Leaning into Queen. Count the bucket.
Nice job of attack.
16 at Washington in the win on Wednesday, and now Gary with a steal. Showtime to the other end. He needs 6 more to accomplish that feat this year.
And he's doing it, had to kind of revamp his roster with the transfer portal being what it is. Fortunately for the Ohio State program, one of the players that did return is Bruce Thornton, who has rewarded not only himself, but his program with how he's played so far. And Ohio State, because of their defensive lapses, showing a little bit of a zone defense here and taking a little bit of time for Nebraska to figure out.
They get it to Gary at the logo, 6 to shoot. Gary will just take it right to the rim and in.
Use that rhythm dribble with his left hand and then step in to the lefty jumper.
Having one of his best offensive games as a Buckeye. And Nebraska in real trouble early, down 8, 42-34. Double comes at Buchtengel. Here's Gary towing the line for a three, and it splashes down. Walks the tightrope. Crowd wanted to travel. Thornton short on the two. Williams the rebound.
I mean, Gary was just demanding the ball. He wants to go right at the freshman.
Turns into a double. Somehow got it up and down anyway. And 8 feet of the rim for a two-hand flush. Wooster will scramble, gets it in quickly to Buchtengel. In some trouble again.
Boy, that's a dangerous pass.
Hoiberg gets it to Gary for the flush. So it'll be Wooster who will inbound to Bryce Williams. Williams trapped, no timeouts, jumps it across. Gary is there. Gary to the rim for the exclamation point.
Husker, a couple of years there as freshman and sophomore seasons in Lincoln.
There's no doubt, again, got both big guys starting the game. Nebraska gets a three, and then now Huskers get a three. It spreads the defense. See, they're packing it in, making it tough to get into that paint.
On Gary, a straightaway three-pointer, and he knocks it down. Put back from Gary. Gary's another one who had
It's in the paint.
just a 4-point lead now. Loose ball. Hoiberg dives for it. And here comes Nebraska. Pass ahead to Williams. A lob to Gary. And a desperation timeout. Second half compared to much of the first.
There's no doubt they still had good ball movement there, but good rotations by Nebraska to contest the shot.
Gary puts it on the deck, pulls up with the paint. And he hits, and this game is now time.
The rebounding, they've really controlled, Nebraska's really controlled the boards, limited those second chance points for Washington.
They double. Buchtengel finds a wide open Hoiberg. Gary underneath and off the clear lane. Williams, who's been such a big part of Nebraska all season, but especially in these two wins that we've been talking about coming into tonight's game. Over 20 points again tonight. Williams with 23. He's knocked down 4 triples. To Gary with 3 on the shot clock. And man,
sometimes a triple team, but they get back to where they need to get back to.
good find from Biddle. Angel follow. No. It is just a war zone in the paint right now. And it comes away to Hoiberg. Here comes Wooster.
Now they got numbers.
It's Williams. Extra pass to Juwan. Gary. And Dana Altman. That's what put Tracy at the line here. So he's out of the game. Raleigh Wooster is back in for Nebraska. And that pressure burns off pretty easily for the Huskers. Gary going right in. Angel to score. He's got the smaller Wooster on him and takes advantage.
You have to make teams pay for switching, especially smalls guarding bigs down on the block.
Gary unafraid. And he's. I think a nice Instagram feature would be John doing his basketball players that would be football players. Maybe we could get that shot.
We would welcome any and all more submissions to that draft.
Did I say Cohen Carr on the air? That was a submission.
Cohen Carr, just throw it up in the end zone. He'll just jump over everybody and get it.
Roddy Gale of Michigan. It's Gary.
I think they found Nebraska was turning it over against this pressure.
And now they're in the double bonus. Buchtengel trapped. Oh, there's some contact there. Luckily for Bamba, no foul call. Whoa, look out! And Wooster will walk it up.
See where Nebraska goes here in the half court. I'm assuming this guy will decide to play. Bryce Williams.
Got 22 points. Creates an open look. Gary hits the three.
Good shot.
Games this year where Illinois had droughts of 3.5 minutes twice in a half without a field goal like we've seen tonight. Talk about the sixth best scoring offense in the country. It averaged almost 86 points per game. And Hoiberg in the corner to Gary. Gary spins to the rim against Gary Booth and Nebraska. Hoiberg just isoing Morgan on Johnson because Johnson in that foul trouble. See if you want to go back to it. Oh, what a find on the baseline out of bounds. Round was spirited, wasn't it? It was. They're chanting defense. So imagine at 10:30 in the morning, they're walking through sets chanting defense this morning. The lob to Gary again on the baseline. Will Riley to get busy with his right hand. Illinois has closed to 4. 13 straight points for Riley. Here's Gary, turns the corner, driving at Riley, and gets 4.1 on the shot clock. It's Williams on the baseline. Underneath, it's Gary who catches and finishes. Guarding against cancer, and that's a fundraising initiative over the last 8 years. It's raised over $9 million as the Huskers get 2 from Juwan Gary, who was in a Wisconsin camp when he was in high school in Minnesota before going to North Dakota State. Greg Gard, very familiar with Andrew Morgan. He was impressed with how he's developed since he had him in his high school camps. Here's Gary. He'll try from 3. That one snaps the twine, and here comes... Here's Gary on the drive, inside, against Yates. Misses that, got his own miss, puts it back up and in. St. Thomas chugging up the floor, and the former Miller North player met at the rim by Buchtenjel with a block. Long pass ahead. Mia can't handle that pass. It's tipped to Gary, and 2 on the board. Yates for 2.
A nice job by Yates of making himself available because that sequence was going nowhere.
See what Nebraska has in store. Euless trying to find room.
And when Williams puts the ball on the floor, look at how the black jerseys rotate to him.
He's got a spotlight on him tonight. Gary splits 2 defenders and all the way to the rim. 6.
Have been the catch and release variety. You know USC is emphasizing, as they did in the shoot around, get there and jam it.
Stabs today. Both emphasizing the importance of this game. Really felt like a pivot game in the middle of this conference season. Asijan lost it, but tapped back to Gary. He'll turn the corner. Gary leaning in for 2 more. He's got 10. And Nebraska
that does not have a great rim protector.
From the elbow, the jumper a little strong for Desmond Claude, and there's Morgan climbing the ladder for the rebound. Booster. Hand off to Asijan. They were right there this time. Claude all over him. Inside, Gary again to the rim, and a chance for 1 more. Slacker will swing it to Claude. 2 to shoot. 1 to shoot. Just gets the shot off, and Buchtenjel off the bench with the rebound.
And a nice job by Williams as well of closing out under control, running the 3-point shooter off the line, and then forcing a difficult mid-range.
Oh, what a find. Inside to Juwan Gary. Williams. And you wonder where that's going to come from, and it's come from the freshman Wesley Yates.
And not only did they miss, or are they missing what he gave them statistically, but that's a guy that was familiar with the league during his time at Michigan. A lot of intangibles there as well.
Gary entering, driving to the basket, counted in the foul. That's on
with it. And right now, offensively, if I'm Nebraska, Kevin, I want to get something going to the rim. Whether it's Juwan Gary or maybe even a post-up with Bryce Williams, because USC does not have a shot-blocking presence.
There goes Gary trying to go to work against Thomas. Leans in, wild shot, and somehow it falls. It's been that kind of organ. Here's Slacker. He'll launch again. Barely grazes the rim.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Forget about not sure. I am sure that's not the shot that they were looking for.
And St. Thomas is coming to the scorer's table. Wooster with the dunk down and a 7th lead.
Not getting sped up, surveying the floor, and then saw that no one was going to stop him at the rim and just finished.
Here's Gary driving to the rim all the way up and down. Juwan Gary.
To Maryland. And Nebraska's got 4 from Williams and Gary combined. You'd think they're in trouble with 4.5 to go, and that has not been the case.
What a screen by Buchtenjel. Man, on Gary.
Geronimo. Did get rid of the ball, though.
Good hands.
Ooh. And it leads to a break for Euless. Into the lane to Gary.
Aaron Euless is
Ulis in transition.
Good rim run. Oh, right there. Oh, what a tip, though. Juwan Gary.
It rolls around at home from Dylan Grant.
Well, that was an area Fred Hoiberg was worried. The glass. Talk about taking care of the ball and keeping Rutgers off the offensive glass. A little bit of friendly fire maybe there on the tip-in.
There's Gary from deep, and that's a three. So
The biggest thing that jumps out is he just plays at a level of comfort and calmness that is wise beyond his years. It's almost like he's like a 15-year NBA vet out there.
Gary will jump it down to Mia. Up past Buchtenjel with that new bandage on. Gary with a contested three, and it rains down over Dylan Grant. Morgan, left block, turns baseline. Gary there to clean it up in his first 9-2.
Or Ace Bailey with his 2 personal fouls as well.
And Gary inside, able to push that one over. Keep things going. Here's Harper for 3. And Wooster with the rebound. On the push. Huskers getting aggressive. Gary to the rim with a one-hand hammer.
Huskers and Bailey and Harper.
I mean, it's not like there was a huge opening for Harper to get through to get to the rim. Williams against Harper. 7 to shoot. Gary baseline drive. Feathers it in.
To this deficit.
It's been a pretty physical game, but we've only had 3 fouls combined so far.
Yeah, both teams trying to establish themselves and fairly cleanly played thus far.
At the rim, Juwan Gary, the 6th. Smith out to Lawyer. Oh, he thought he got fouled. No whistle.
Watch, I thought Wooster was going to try to push it.
And Gary a little closer to the hoop.
Execution in the first half. Nebraska's a good defensive team, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't look like it right now because everything's going Purdue's way.
Good pass there, and Gary with 2 more. They're still letting him have it, even though they're up almost 30. Well, there's a reason they've won 25 straight in this building.
That's right. Just fans all on top of you. They're coordinated with their...
More pick and roll, though, from the middle of the floor. You get the initial action, you get a dribble drive. Iowa kind of getting whatever they want against a very good Nebraska defense early.
Asijan is checked in for the first time. He's their top 3-point shooter, wear number 0. Back to Gary with 7 to shoot. Tough drive. Just a straight line. And he does. They're down, but to only be down 7.
Yeah, with the way that some of these guys have played. You mentioned Freeman and Sanford. Outside of Josh Dix, there just hasn't been great offense for Iowa.
But Gary left open.
He's driving that matchup. Off that skip pass, nobody's home, and the no blockout responsibilities at the rim.
Crowd trying to come alive here. 5 consecutive points for their Hawkeyes. Mia, Gary for 2.
Just a life.
Buchtenjel
had more time.
Boy, Gary with a rebound. Williams open. Gary makes his 5th shot.
Rather than Bryce. And they leave wide open. That one falls from downtown.
Give Bilodeau that wide open of a look. That's a mental mistake. 2 guys ran at him and the 2 ran away from him.
Bilodeau is so good facing the basket. Another one. Gary. Shooting percentage, yes. Mia up there amongst some of the all-timers down low. And right away, they're a tough out when they're making shots from downtown.
And no Eric Daly makes a difference for UCLA. He made 4 threes against Gonzaga. And certainly when you take on Nebraska with the way Nebraska defends, you're going to have to knock down threes.
Juwan.
Williams right now running the point guard. And he did this a little bit last year as well. But this guy Asijan's on the floor to try and knock down shots against whatever defense Southern's in. And it's a startling difference in Nebraska as a 3-point shooting team as Terry hits the 3. Top 25% in the nation in steals, blocks, and forced turnovers.
They've struggled against Division I opponents on the offensive end, but on the defensive end, they've made things happen. Not this time, though, is Juwan Gary. Like you said, just an uneven second half.
Yeah.
And the three in the corner won't go. Rebound by Hoiberg. Long pass ahead to Gary. Gary with a Euro step for two.
Coast Conference. But when the Pac-12 is reforming in a couple of years, they'll be one of the cornerstone teams of a rebuilt Pac-12.
I think that move was very smart for the West Coast Conference to grab, because it will strengthen the WCC this year.
He's up over 50% on his threes this year. He is 25 for 46. Juwan Gary, nice to the bucket.
Against the zone defense, if you
miss, and the rebound, Nebraska.
See, made a big three-pointer late in that game against Oakland. Very confident shooter from the outside. Had a good look there.
And the drop-off to Juwan Gary. The roll for Harry Rouliadec, and the Bows are back within three.
Just found out Jerry Weinstein, who's packaged this whole tournament, said dinner on him at Highs tonight. I like Hawaii, just trying to change things up a little bit. Sometimes when you up your pressure at the defensive end of the floor, it gives you more life, more.
Nebraska.
Not uncommon to see a little bit of a sluggish start in an event like this. You know, you've been here for a couple of days, you've got some practices under your belt, but you're in Hawaii, the time change is a little bit different.
And the roll for Juwan Gary.
Participating to help raise a ton of money to continue to fund and allow that lodge to be free.
And I know it's such an important fight for you, your involvement with fighting cancer and the numerous charities you're involved with, and you gave a really impassioned and powerful speech at that event a couple nights ago.
And just know how it works. I mean, the financial burden people go through in the fight against cancer, not everybody can go through it, and these Hope Lodges are
over, or if you're going to go one under. He tried to chase it over there and got clipped there on the screen.
Bryce Williams, 6-year senior, hands it off to Gary, and Gary takes it to the rack. Now that's kind of an overlooked part of his game. Almost 4 assists per night for Trey Galloway.
Nice job chasing there.
Berke Buick-Tungel kicks it to the wing. And you wanted some more from the entertaining first half here in Lincoln. Williams somehow finds Gary, who somehow finds the basket. Oregon size advantage. Spinning. Missed the reverse, but how about Juwan Gary on the putback?
Looks, and again, I thought Renew got fouled when he was turning around to that hook shot.
As mentioned it, Indiana has gotten a lot of offensive rebounds, but they haven't turned it into points.
Correct. I like it.
7-0 run for Nebraska. Could it be 10-0? Yes.
Feeling the holiday spirit.
Yeah, I got him free at the Farming Fleet.
On clearance. This is Worcester, guarded by Jason Richardson, the freshman who checks into the game for the first time for the Spartans as well. Juwan Gary inside on Kohler, bucket and a foul.
You keep moving, and the way that this team shares the ball, they'll find you. Nicely done. Showing you why they had 25 assists on 29 made field goals last time out.
Oh, Gary knocks down the...
Well done by Zapala, not just going up with 2 hands, but he didn't bring the ball down below his shoulders on the reload. No need to go from 6'10 to 5'10 unnecessarily.
Gary, a scoop shot, lands, and a foul. Booker underneath.
Nicely done by Aikens, but you have to reward Booker. He just sprinted down the floor to set up shop with that rim run.
And Gary
over South Carolina and Georgia Tech. The Georgia Tech one in particular was dominant. So those were the first wins, by the way, ever against SEC and ACC opponents.
They have 4 power conference wins in their program history, and 2 of which in the first week of the season here, and looking for their 3rd here this afternoon.
I'd start from 3-point range.
From 3 for North Florida, so it's no secret what they're trying to do. They're trying to get shots right at the rim and threes.
Sejan's already got one from deep, so does Gary. This is kind of more of his strong suit, though. He is literally very strong, man.
Your switch has got to be on point.
They worked on exactly that in practice earlier today. The switch, which led to a Gary tip and a Gary bucket and a foul. Plus,
And Sam Hoiberg is attached to the three-point line because North Florida leads the country in threes, so there's not that weak side help. So pick-and-roll basketball could serve North Florida well.
Gary goes up strong. Nice drive there. Mia did well to defend without fouling. Now here's Sejan operating with 16 points on 6 of 7 from the field. 4 of those from long range. Bounce pass down low to Gary. He is such a good defender, pesky defender. Now gets the board. Williams made a good late decision to find Gary. Defensive performance today matched up right now with Oriole. Nice rebound from Griffiths. There's Gary looking to get rewarded at the other end.
Needs to have a big game for the Huskers. Bryce Williams coming off that 28-point performance. Double figures his last 8 games. Huskers to work first here in Omaha. Erica Butenjel up top. It finds Juwan Gary hitting 1 for 3 tonight. Pop Isaacs strong, and Mia with a good rebound. The transition defense is going to be crucial. That was the other area Fred Hoiberg was really worried about. Said if we don't get back in transition, we might as well get off the bus with how fast Creighton is. Mismatch here. Got some smaller guards for Creighton. Juwan Gary going to work on the small. Neal back to Ashworth. Pop Isaacs in the corner. That 3 halfway down, and the rebound tipped out to Williams. With the hand in the passing lane, made it have to be a bounce pass, which is a little bit different rhythm shooting it. Some good weak side scramble defensively. Gary going right at Kalkbrenner for 2 more. More of a skilled big and not as much of a banger. But there's Gary with the takeaway. Gary to the other end for the 2-hand hammer. Very reminiscent of the matchup 2 years ago in Omaha. Butenjel will try the 3. That's off. Rebound Gary springing against Pop Isaacs. And Pop Isaacs has to jump. If you jump, you're able to get the over the back call. Butenjel to the free throw line. 10 to shoot for Rooster. Weaving through the baseline. 5 on the shot clock. Morgan quickly to Gary for 3. They use the whole clock. A lot of game left. Creighton can't totally lose their mind. And Nebraska has to keep their foot on the pedal. But in this instance, the foot on the pedal doesn't necessarily mean go faster. Could be the brake pedal in this instance. How about Gary to the rim? Juwan Gary.
A good screen, the good look, and knocked down to 3.
Yeah, Manuel is a preseason all NEC selection.
Hoiberg out to Gary. Hoiberg back out to Gary again. That 3 is good. Harbor Bay is good. Hoiberg out to Gary for 3. He responds. So he's gotten going here to start the second half.
I thought that would be a focus.
Gary take it. And just like that on cue, Gary with the steal on the defensive end and lays it in.
A defensive system and being able to improve in that area.
Ten on the shot clock. Ulis. Kick out to Gary for 3. That's good. Juwan. We go. Lob inside and knocked away by Berkay.
Sorry, just touched on the opener. Betham Bethune Cookman really wants to push, score in that first 10 to 12 seconds of offense. Some of the tempo they want to play with on that possession.
Mia inside to Gary. Goes up strong, first buck. Butengel for three. No good. Loose ball. Gary, hustle play, lays it in. Here is Ward. Kick out to Thomas for three. Too strong. Gary with the rebound. Quickly ahead to Griffiths. Back to Gary. Gary to the rim and finish.
Ward in the game, getting contribution from a lot of different players.
Taken away by Nebraska. Hoiberg over to Gary. Gary!
And then Rio turns it over on a inbound violation.
Gary pulls the three and drains it.
An issue. But certainly Coach Hoiberg was not real happy when it ended the 5-on-4 fast break opportunity for Nebraska.
Carroll's pick up the pressure a little bit here. Under 3 to play. Gary to the rim and finish. Nice take.